Welcome to another episode of Kicking It with the Brothers. It's a special edition today. One is because you were seeing that we are with some new faces, some old faces, new faces, but not really should be old to those who are following, obviously, us at the Multiplicity Media Network. Don't forget to click that like button, click subscribe, especially not only for obviously the podcast, but we are streaming on all platforms as we would be able to see. So check out all of our content. But once again, that special episode today because I'm excited. One of our recaps for the season. The most expensive, the biggest club in the world. I think it's fair to say. But here we are. We are going to do the recap for Manchester United here right with our boys to what is my right. And you're looking at the screen. The extraordinaire content creator, executive producer of many shows, also of we know is the Field of 68 Network and his great work that he does there. But most importantly, he is the one that guides our hands here at the Multiplicity Media Network. So our boys, shout out to my man JK. What up, Jacob? Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. Excited to talk about my Red Devils in depth here. Got my boy B with me, so I'm not alone. We about to tackle this talk together. It's interesting. Huge club. Showed a couple 10-pot tendencies at times this year, but here we are, ready to talk about it.
Yes, indeed. And when my boy is back, he's got his laptop back. He's finishing school, correct? My man in Houston. Shout out to my boy Braylon Reed. Did know this brother. Man, it's going on 2 years now. Since our first jump off with the locker room and Spotify.
Yeah, it's about 2 years. About 2 years, yes.
Very good, knowledgeable brother. All not only in terms of Houston sports content, but we are glad to bring him back. And you best believe we will be around for some of the recaps and EPL previews. So, Braylon, it's good to see you, brother. Thanks for joining today.
Oh yeah, for sure, always, man. I will always be here when you need me, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate that, fam. Yeah, let's just jump into it, fellas. Excited going into Manchester United. Finished third in the Premier League this year. Winners of the Carabao Cup, and also runners up for the FA Cup, and as well as semifinalists for the Europa. Correct?
Indeed.
You finally competed on all fronts. I would not say that it was looking like it was going to be that way at the end of August. What an interesting start. I'm not going to blame that on my boy CR7, but we are going to get into that discussion today. We don't blame goats, guys who resurrect clubs like he did last year. However, fellas, want to talk to you. Let's start it off. Most improved player of the season. Let's start it off with you, JK.
Oh God, this could go a lot of ways. One guy I want to talk about, I don't know if you can say improved because he's so young. So I guess I'll spin this a little bit. Player that most impressed me, my guy Garnacho. 19, 6 goal contributions. I mean, the future's bright. He's special, very young. I think he'll be great. In terms of most improved, this is a tough one because it's so much easier to talk about the negative sides of the club than it is the positive ones. And I don't want to say Rashford because obviously he's the obvious answer for player of the year, even though he's coming off his best season. I'm going to say somebody who impressed me a lot, even though it was his first year at the club. But as the year progressed, he just kept getting better, especially in big competitions. I'm going to go Lisandro Martinez, the mighty mouse himself, little 5'8" center back. Whenever we went through the stretch, I would say probably late first half to early second half of the season, he was so pivotal. And yes, like Varane improved as well, but they were just anchoring the back line together. And I kind of expect that from Varane, but Lisandro, like, he doesn't have size, but he was always there. He was winning headers that he had no business winning at times. Like, he would win headers over 6'2" strikers, and it's like positioning. And he was always active. He was always moving. And I just, at times he had to get paired with Maguire. If he's got Shaw or Varane back there with him, it's a little easier. But at times, even when he was paired with Maguire, he was still very, very impressive. And I don't know, I just love that ETH brought him in, and I think he's going to be very, very huge for the club moving forward.
Braylon, jump in, baby.
Most improved. I can't say it's center. Simple. Spider-Man. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I mean, he was out. He was virtually out of the club. He was virtually
yes, he was.
He was gone. And then he Eric Ten Hag talks to him and he gives him a little bit of a pep talk and get him going. And then like he's dribbling past players. He's his of course the final ball isn't there, which we're not sure if that's going to ever be there, but he showed that 1v1 defense that he was always known for, and he was there. He was performing, and I was actually happy because I'm like, man, we got to buy a right back soon. I was thinking that, so I was like, no, we don't have to. We have also, also another person that could have been named on this list is Diogo Dalot. Like he's up there too.
Yeah,
like
he's
tough, and he brings that attacking side with the final ball because in right foot and left foot. So it's Aaron Wan-Bissaka is most improved. He was gone. Now he's back. Has a spot on the team and starts in very important games. I mean, he locked down Saint Maximin for Newcastle when he came in for the Carabao Cup final. Hey man, I'm happy. I am happy with Aaron.
No, I definitely feel that because there was a point even early year when like they were starting Wan-Bissaka over Dalot. I was like, oh God, this is an L. Like we're losing. It's just, and then towards the end of the year, I mean, we finally got the Wan-Bissaka we were promised. was the positive side.
Well, we paid 45 for him. I was at that point. It was like, oh, hopefully we have our back because then we paid 40 and then we paid 80 million for the fridge. I will always call him a fridge because I don't like the man. Yeah, like our back line is set, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka being improving what he did this year. Also, Dalot, which you can always say honorable mention. Like it really.
But you go international. My man's over there, so he's doing things. He's young too. What is he? 21, 20 even? Dalot?
I think he's.
I want to say 23 to be safe. He's younger.
Yeah, he's not like Garnacho or Elanga young, but he's young. Like, it just feels good to go into a summer transfer window in which I can say if we add 0 back line in the transfer window, we are fine next year.
Which I doubt. I doubt they're not adding a guy back there.
I'm hoping. I mean, honestly, I know it'd be another wing back, but I'm hoping that the DeMarco transfer rumors are true because bringing in him would just absolutely bolster the back line that much more.
Yeah, I think y'all are pretty set. I think it's been the best back line y'all have had on quite some time. One, in terms of where I think ETH actually, I think he's unlocked a way to always stay in the game versus City just because of the way from his management style. Granted, the 6-3 that happened in Manchester, that was, obviously at the Etihad, I should say, was just such a long time ago.
We're speaking about the past, bro. We're not
worried about. I'm just saying, not because I think y'all have. I'm getting there. I think in terms of the future, y'all have set the benchmark for how to stay in the game with them.
And we can have convos about the back line because there's someone behind the back line that's a problem. But that's
Well, let's get into that. Who is the most disappointing player? Great segue.
My dream, that was like one of my dreams things that I wrote down in my notes. I was like, dream off season. Do not re-sign De Gea and please go get Onana.
Oh, yes.
Onana. I want Onana so bad.
From Everton? Or you want the goalie? No. You want the goalie or not?
Yes.
Yeah, y'all are offering 60 mil for him right now.
Yeah, they want him. bad. And then apparently the other link is Jordan Pickford, which I'm not trying to
Oh
see, but
no.
But here's the thing: how y'all get this is so. Before we get into the most disappointing, so De Gea, I'm actually interested to see if Braylon got some thoughts on that. But how does he? I mean, he was the top keeper award in the
he
EPL. Y'all ready to still
he
drop?
wins the Golden Glove, but you have to look at what's in front of him, right? And what's in front of him? He has
Okay, sure.
Lichai, he has Lindelof, he has Varane, he has Casemiro, being the pivot, being the six, and helping slow down, shots being shot at him. There was games where he will only face one shot and he won't have to make one shot. But there was games, and you saw the final game of the season, where he was just letting BS through. Cause like, come on, man. Like, yes, Gudowan is a great player, but that second one was atrocious. He should save that. That should be saved. There wasn't much power with it. It was placement, but he was right there. He should have saved. He didn't make a move on the first shot attempt. He like it's not good. And then you have to boot the ball 50 yards to prevent to save your defense because you're so adept at turning the ball over, trying to make a pass, trying to play through the back, but he can't do it. He's a old style keeper, but he's not even good at that part any. Well, he's good, but he's not the amazing stopper that he once was. So that's
yeah,
like,
it's I don't know. There's just so many games you can go back and look at where he bottled at least one save, and there's a lot of games where he bottled 2+. I mean, and I think the club sees it too, because my thing is wins the golden. But if he really had that great of a season, I just know the contract negotiations wouldn't have been that hard and they would have already re-signed him. The hesitancy to re-sign him lets me know that ETH is looking at it and he's like, there's just no way we could keep this dude, especially for the number he's asking for. Like, we need to make a transfer, because there was just certain times where he literally looked like he was drunk in the net. Like, I don't know. I don't know
The
how to
FA Cup
explain it.
final. The FA Cup final. I was wondering. I'm like, the
that
game did
wonderful
start.
day, that wonderful day in London, which I know we all remember, losing to Brentford, and the way he just folded, like the man melted. He just was nothing. He was just there to be there at that point. It was like, okay, it was pretty bad. It was atrocious. I was like, yeah, we made it's time to go. You're a legend. You're a club legend. Thank you for your decade of service, bro. But like at this point, you're hurting us right now, sadly.
Yeah. I hate to say it. Love David De Gea, but it's time.
It's time. Is he your most disappointing player, or do we have another one for that?
Oh God. I mean, I could start a list with most disappointing
I just
players.
need one. Just need
Listen,
one. Need one for the show and one for the jokes. I'm cool with that.
see, since we just talked about De Gea, I won't say him. To me, the answer is obvious here, and it's freaking Jadon Sancho, sadly. I mean,
Mm.
I know it's not all his fault. Chances weren't there, but it's like, dude, when you pay 80, 85 M's for someone, they give you 9 goal contributions in 29 games. Like, he just doesn't fit, especially ETH's style. I mean, he's already been rumored to like want to go back to Dortmund. And honestly, I was hyped when we signed on the transfer to bring him in. I was like, oh my god, like this is one of the brightest young players on England's national squad. Like, we are getting an absolute gem here. I almost had not the same level of hype, but just the Dortmund England comparison. It was similar to Jude. You were like hype because, oh my god, this guy's been at Dortmund. He's a young England guy. He's a stud. And then he comes over and he was just never able to break through the wall. He was never able to really put his footprint in the rotation all the time. He was never really able to get on ETH's, like, I don't know if you say good side, but it just never worked out. And it's sad because I do like him a lot, but it's bad, man. You got to give me more than 9 goal contributions.
that wasn't good enough. He had some moments where you can still see the talent that is there. Don't want to hate him on that. I think he's clearly not a world class player, but he's still young. Adapting to the EPL is tough. But Jacob, you make a lot of good points, man. This is by far the biggest offseason of his career. And I know I'm not trying to put him in a box quite yet, but it's because ETH is not waiting for him to get there because there's trophies and there's 4 competitions of like where United has already shown you that they're capable of competing in 4 competitions but he's got to strengthen the squad so that therefore they are in finals like they weren't care about, like they were in FA Cup. And the squad depth needs to be there. We don't know what's going on with Greenwood. We'll talk about that. But y'all just need attacking players who can put the ball in the back of the net outside of Rashford, because we see what happened with his little injury spell or when he wasn't himself. So that's a good call, man. B Reed, what's up, baby?
So you gave me the task to come up with one disappointing player. That's tough with United. He
That's what I'm
said
saying.
it's tough. It's really tough.
I'm glad you're so aligned.
But he said Sancho. I'm gonna go with the guy that probably was overhyped this year. Paid 100 million for the man. I was hoping for more from Anthony.
He was my number 2, the skill move merchant himself.
The fidget spinner. Yes, okay. They make jokes about it all the time. But like he has one go-to move when it's time to go to attack. That's cut in on the left foot, try to bend it around the goalkeeper on far post. But like at some point, they know what you're gonna do. They're going to be prepared for it. Like he doesn't offer any service to other players when he gets into the box because his right foot is a piece of. His right foot is not good. We've seen it. Passes go off, they go wayward, and they're not hitting the players for the final ball. Man, yeah, I expected way more, but then it's not just Anthony, because you can talk about plays in the midfield. You can talk about, of course, Harry Maguire always. You can talk about you can talk about Van der Beek not being healthy. That's a disappointment. You can talk about all of the McTominay. It's so many. The club, there's so many players that should not be on United, but they are on United.
Yeah, I don't know. Man, that was too funny because it was basically a coin flip between Sancho and the skill move merchant himself. So I'm Anthony. Oh man, it's hard to get even. It's hard.
I'm gonna have some belief in him. I'm gonna have some belief in him because Eric Ten Hag wanted him. Ten Hag wanted Anthony.
It's hard to adapt to the Premier League in that first year, like unless you were world class. Like it's just tough. Like I mean, a young brother like him, he needs to get in the weight room a little bit.
I mean, you can be blessed and have Kerry De Bruyne, delivering you passes.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, but that's the only way it becomes easy.
See, that could go to a third most disappointing. It's like, I'm gonna be honest, and I hate to say this, but
I know
Bruno.
Don't say it.
I thought that's where you was
don't
going.
Say it. No, don't say it. Don't say it, man.
Listen, Bruno? I love Bruno, but it's just like at times this year, I was like, man, you're supposed to be delivering, not all the time. Like I'm not saying he's KDB like status, but like at times the offensive game, you should be delivering some of them gems. And I just feel like sometimes this year he either really had it or he really didn't. Like there was never really an in-between Bruno performance, if that makes sense.
I do think it's tough when you're reliant on one player, right? As much as we joke, it's not just De Bruyne for Man City. They have Gundogan, they have Bruno, Bernardo Silva. They can bring Phil Foden off the bench, and they can bring all these players. They have just whatever, that's what you have. You have oil money, praying to God that becomes us one day. We're so close to it, but it's just Bruno, and then it was time early in the season before he got hurt. Christian Eriksen, he was able to take some of that load off of creating a little bit. for Bruno, but then it had to go straight back to Bruno because he got hurt. It's just tough. I couldn't say Bruno because he's the only guy that can create anything at the moment. That's that's great for others at least because everybody know Rashford had the season of his life. So, but like I couldn't say Bruno. I
I
couldn't get
can
my heart around.
I can understand. That's my concern. I think that's where they do have to go like a little heavy in the transfer window is like what are they selling Fred for? 20 or something like
20.
that?
Yes.
20 and then all right, so you've got Bruno. Um Casemiro's a holding mid, so he's not going to like, be up there creating a lot of chances although he's great. I mean, Sabitzer I like, but I don't know. I know it's another Inter guy, but the links and the calls they've been making about Barella
He's
would
nice.
not mind seeing that
Yeah, he's nice.
because we need a creator. Like we just do. Like it's like you said. I mean, it's a great point. Be like, Man City has a lot of creators. When you just have Bruno, it's like, and see, that's another reason I was so upset with Sancho because I really thought he could be that at some point in his career. But ETH can't wait. Like we punched the ticket back to the UCL. Like he's trying to make noise, so he's like, I'm not gonna wait. And I don't know, man. It's sad because there's just so many guys in that midfield that were supposed to be better, and they're just not. Like McTominay is up and down. I'm not a fan of Van de Beek at all, really. Like, there's too many question marks, man. Like, go get me a reliable creator in the midfield. And
Hey, look, they just offered 45 million plus 5 for Mason Mount. So hopefully they try to get that over the line.
yeah, I've seen that too. You know, Mason, I'm hoping Chelsea's selling the whole club. They on a fire sale right now. So I wouldn't mind it.
They
I
bought
can't.
Koulibaly, had him when you're selling Koulibaly. They bought Romelu Lukaku. He flops. They gotta sell him. They buy Timo Werner. They sell them. Hey, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Hey, for us, I hope we can get the Mason Mount that was there when they won the Champions League and
Yes.
all that. So that's the hope, and he's probably still there because Graham Potter was not good. It was not good. It was not
Like
good.
Chelsea fans are so quick to like talk shit about their players like Mount. And I'm like, do you not remember just literally a year ago, even 2 years ago, how good these guys were? All of a sudden things go downhill and you're going to immediately blame the player. You're not going to look at the extenuating circumstances around these guys. Like, let's just be honest here, respectfully, actually disrespectfully, because I hate Chelsea. You're a 10-pot club now, okay? It's time to fire sale. You're a plastic club right now. You got a lot
They
of
bought
things
in
to do.
Cuckoo, and then I guarantee you, when in Cuckoo is not performing, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, we paid this much money for this guy, and he's not that." I like,
And see, that breaks my heart because
yeah,
Nkunku is a dog.
special.
He is something special. Oh man.
Yeah, he's gonna be definitely for sure. Well, I love talking to United guys because I mean y'all, and I would say y'all are realistic too because y'all kind of understanding where y'all are at, but where y'all can go. But it was, let's just say, in order to get to the standards of what your prestigious club adheres to, I think there was, well, I'll let you guys speak on it, but there was a player this season, obviously, for all comps, who was all most important for y'all to get to third place in the premiership. And then we talked about your accolades, and obviously you're getting your trophy this year. But want to hear from y'all in terms of your play this season. B, why don't you go first, and then we'll let Jacob follow up.
It's not okay. Of course, obvious answer, Rashford, right? That's obvious. But for me, it's buying that Brazilian stud from Real Madrid. He changed everything. The moment he walked through the door, legit, we beat Liverpool 2-1 at home Monday night. Monday evening for us. We beat them, dominate them, and just energy changed. we're not letting silly counterattack goals happen. He's contributing to the set piece problem which we was having. We couldn't score for set piece. Now he's getting his head on everything, set piece wise. He's given a backline confidence to be more forward and able to have a higher line. So then you're seeing Leach outperform better. You're seeing Victor Lindelof look like a very good, serviceable center back, especially for like rotational. Varane gets back to that world class Bentley type, field player that they was calling him like, oh yeah, he's a Rolls Royce. He's this. He had a comfortable person. He had a person he knew he could make these plays with and take those risks and clear the ball or be able to make passes through. Now, granted, he's not that great on the ball when in terms of playing through the back line, but like at this point, we didn't have nothing. We had McFred forever, and we knew what McFred was going to be, and that was like it was disastrous. Right. But so then you bring in Casemiro and everything changed. Everything changed. It was like it's magic. It became magic, and you could believe you could see that Manchester United had a future again, even though the man is 30 years old. But like you never know. You never know.
I mean, yeah, that's
Casa.
It only goes. There's only two answers here. I mean, you said both of them. Rashford obviously just had the best season of his career. Like, I'm gonna say Rashford simply because Rashford was never in a spot, and obviously like, that's my guy. Like Marcus, favorite player on the squad, love the man. Like he wasn't ever off the club, but it was before this season he had such a rough year. Like there were so many questions about were the prior years a fluke? Is he that guy? Can he be that guy? And then he gets in form and shows everyone like, get me a few more creators and I can be an absolute centerpiece of a UCL winning, EPL winning squad. And that was just a huge step in the right direction for me, because it was like literally breaking my heart that Rashford was having the struggles he was having. ETH, the genius, knew how to open him up perfectly. The space on the outside, it was beautiful. He utilized his speed to perfection. And man, I am very, very excited to see what will happen if they nail this summer transfer window and there actually are some people to alleviate that goal scoring pressure off of Rashford. Because I mean, it's like you said, ML, like when he was out, we were lucky to get one a game. It was bad. I mean, and the striker position has been a question mark at the club for years now. I mean, Martial was supposed to be the next guy. He hasn't been
signed
yet.
Lukaku.
Yeah.
Lukaku's not dead.
Ronaldo stuff happened. I mean,
you bring in Edison Cavani, which he's an injury plagued guy. And then, like before you bought him, you had 2 seasons of Zlatan. So it's never been like a guy there that we can be like, okay, he's the guy for the next 6-7 years, right? And that's the problem. And then Rashford stepped up this year and playing striker, and like we all know Rashford's best position is not the striker. It's off the left wing. And we know he coming off the left wing. He's dangerous and his pace and all that. But he said in the week leading up to the Liverpool match, he said, "Coach, put me at number 9. Put me at number 9, and I would deliver." He delivered that game, and then it escalated to him being a world class player. He's probably going to be top 10 in the Ballon d'Or conversation. Hopefully. That's how good it was. Like you can make the argument. Like the man was second, third best player in the Prem this year.
Yeah, I just literally all I want to see is let Rashi play beside a good striker. Like do whatever you have to do to get that man a striker, please. Like that's I'm on my knees begging the Glazer family to please get a striker.
The Glazers ain't doing nothing. They're trying to rack up as much as close as they can to $6 billion.
We gonna talk about that. No. Yeah, because they still want a little bit of control, which is why I think of the hold up and everything. But
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Self
we can work
club.
on it. Hey, listen, I'm excited for y'all. Like again, like if that's the worst thing, like it's good in terms of like you have multiple players of the season, which is I mean, similar to my club, but at the same time, we did not prioritize competing on all four fronts like you all did because of trying to, I'm not going to say bigger fish to fry. Unfortunately, some of our folks said that, and that came up and bite us, but y'all are in good space. So, let's keep it moving. Obviously, once again, anytime we get to talk about United, biggest club in the world, depending on who you talk to, we are able to get some good knowledge, some lightning round ratings. Casemiro for the season out of 10. Well, we're at the player of the season. I'm saying 9.
Yeah, it's like 9 is the floor. I'm gonna go 9.5. I'm not gonna give a perfect 10 to anyone probably but Rashford, but I mean, B said it, like the dude changed everything.
he's at a 9.5. If it wasn't for them damn red cards, it probably would have been a 10.
The red cards and
But
the injuries.
the red cards was crazy, even though it was like the one against who is it? It was the one where they say he was choking the dude, but he really wasn't choking the dude. He was pushing him off, and the ref was like, nah, red card. I'm like, what is he supposed to do? They're clearly trying to fight him. So he's trying to keep him off, and his hands rose up. His hands went from his chest all the way up to the neck. I did whatever. 9.5 for Casa. Beautiful player.
Nope. Yeah. All right. We'll keep it moving on that front. The next one, Luke Shaw.
Ooh.
I'm going to say 8.
Yeah, I do have like I praise Luke Shaw a little bit more because the dude's really not a center back, and that's where he plays a lot, especially in the Prem. But I mean, yeah, I'll go like 7.5. I mean, at least one of our older English men on the back line isn't a complete fraud like Harry Maguire. So got to
Mm-hmm.
give him a few points for that.
Where you at on Luke Shaw, B?
I'm gonna go at 8.2. 8.2. One thing I'm gonna say this. I'll say this every time, and you can call me stupid or biased or whatever. He's the best left back in the Prem. He is. No matter what you want to say, you can say I'm crazy or I'm idiotic. He's the best left back in the Prem. There's
But
no
he
other
played center
questions.
back for you a lot because your boy Harry wasn't doing his thing. Y'all had to move
That's
him
my
to center
issue. It's
back.
like,
Like you
bruh,
have,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? We talked about this before, but go ahead. I want to hear your
majority
thoughts.
majority of his games was left back, right? Then they had the moments where the injuries came up and then he had to play center back because Leach I was hurt, didn't want to play Maguire because Maguire's that bad. So that's kind of like at later in, and then like it happened once earlier, which was the Man City game. That was like injuries, but then after that, Victor Lindelof step up, and then we got Varane back, so then he was able to go back to left back. That I mean, I still consider a lot of his season at left back. I
Okay.
don't know, so but that's me. Yeah,
I'm willing to be all right with that.
yeah.
All right.
yeah.
So got 2 more for you. 2 more. I think we're in different camps here, but Bruno Fernandez.
Oh God.
You go first, Jacob.
Um, I will say, B opened my eyes up to a little more leniency. But that being said, even with no one else around him, I still like the up and down roller coaster was just like I couldn't do it. So I'm gonna go like 4.6 or 4.5.
Below average?
Below, nah.
For his
That
for his
That's
all right, so listen, for his standards, like I expect so much out of Bruno. Like he's so class. That's why it's like I am critiquing him so harshly because I know how good Bruno can be. It's like a respectful disrespect, I guess would be the way to put it. Like I want to see him hit his potential.
I'm gonna go 7. He's crazy for the 4. He's crazy for that 4. He is unbelievable. So it's one thing I truly didn't mention. He played a lot of season at 8, not a 10 at 8. Well, he was having to create a lot of the attack, right? So the ball will go from De Gea. Well, no, that's crazy. The ball will go from Leachai, then to De Gea, and then from De Gea to the lower Wan-Bissaka, and then from Bissaka to Casa, and then it gets to Bruno. And then it gets to Bruno at the 8 because he's been playing a lot of deep, especially after the transfer window when we brought in Weghorst, and Weghorst is playing the 10 and not the striker because he can't shoot whatever. Like left foot, right foot is buns. He can't header in the ball. He's buns. But whatever, the World Cup, the World Cup game was whatever the fakest game you ever see. It was like Caleb Martin in the NBA playoffs. It would get to Bruno, and then that's when everything happens, right? Bruno was playing a lot of 8 this year, a lot of deep line playmaker, right? And he would make a lot of he would make passes, right? He would make the money passes over the top and deep passes, all that. But then he would try to get too creative. He would try to get too creative, try to back heel flicks. He would try no look passes or try to dummy touches, all that stuff, right? And then it wouldn't hit. He was trying to be too creative, and like a lot of that is gone. He's the only creator. He was the only creator in my mind. So it's like, yeah. So I'm gonna give him a lot more leniency than a 4. I'm gonna say 7. I'm gonna say 7.
I'm gonna go 7 too because at least he was available. That matters though too, especially when you are trying to compete on all 4 fronts. Also a dude who's not scared of. He was afraid of going against City. He wasn't scared. I mean, this also anytime you score against City and win at home, you were a goal scorer, contributor on that aspect. Wasn't
He
scared.
didn't touch the ball. He didn't
Was
contribute at all. He did
wasn't
not
scared of
contribute to that
Barcelona.
goal.
Yes. What are you talking about?
Not against City. He didn't contribute against City.
Yes, he did.
He didn't. No, okay.
At home. Rashi let it go.
At home.
That's what I'm talking about. Rashi let it go. Y'all won 2-1.
Oh my God. See, this season is a whirlwind. I forgot it was him that shot it.
You forgot that he scored.
I forgot that it was him that shot it.
It was. Crazy. Rashi let it go because it was the offsides call, and they were like, yo,
the season is a whirlwind. I forgot that he actually did. Okay,
bro, anytime you score and you beat City, like that matters. That automatically gets you to average there. Another thing, which we'll talk about that because I'm wondering what happened because a lot of folks were in my ear about where United was. My point being is that Barcelona City, he was there, and that matters. Especially that's going to matter when you are when y'all are in pot 3 in the Champions League next year. So not pot 2 or pot 1, which y'all could have been, but y'all in pot 3. So it matters.
Man's has the best season in over a decade, and then he gets to flex, and this is crazy.
Yeah. Bro, I mean, I don't go. It's like I don't go presidential. It's honestly like our squad wins a trophy. We either every other year or whatever, because you know what, the FA Cup is the Arsenal Cup. So, anyways, but this is about United today. Let's make sure we're focusing on United. Next thing here, actually, we're done with the because I don't want to be negative. Let's keep it positive. I am a positive man today. There's no need. It's not like we're talking about Tottenham, teams that don't win or contribute to anything to the EPL no longer should be in the Big Six now that Newcastle is back. And I have some thoughts on that front. Rating ETH for the year.
This will probably be, I mean, he's got a kind of similar to the first person we ranked. His floor is a 9, and I say that because this was not his team or roster construction at all. Like, he had to adjust. But I say that because if we're talking a year or 2 from now, and this is what he gets done with the team that he wants and the team that he's constructed and the pieces that he did bring in pieces. Transfer window, obviously, but he did so many special things with the squad that he really didn't have any say in at the beginning. And you could tell because, like we said, the season started so bad. Then once he started to integrate the pieces he wanted, that's when things started to change. Like obviously, a guy like Casemiro is probably going to do that anywhere for any coach, but he started to integrate the pieces he wanted. And I think that when he actually, gets assuming that they actually spend money, if he can get the guys he wants in this summer transfer window and we can see a full on ETH style roster build, I really do think that he can do some special things. So, I mean, since that's kind of betting on a little bit of luck and spending and getting the perfect squad for him, I will drop it down. I'll give him an 8 because I do think he was I think he was special. I really do. And I think he is special. I think he's going to be great. Once he can put his footprint on the club, I think he'll be great.
So I'm hearing 9.
I'll go 8.5.
All
Okay.
right, so there's been a lot of conversation on social media about Aura, right? Ten Hag, and you see his bald head and his black suit and his Adidas track paint shoes, and you see him walking in, and he's looking, and he's got this scowl face. That's Aura. I don't care what y'all say. That's Aura. That man walked into Wembley twice this year. He had the correct game plan the second time. It's just, players, like we mentioned earlier, the goalkeeper failed him.
Mhm.
I'm gonna actually give him a 10. So I'm gonna list out a couple things. He got his number 2
A 10
option.
is perfect. A 10 in soccer or football is
See,
perfect.
that's almost where I was leaning.
So
listen. That is wild.
So listen.
Remember who you lost to in Europa?
Listen, not his fault. Fucking handball for the worst handball call in history. But
OT, by the way.
Yeah. But okay, so
which is supposed to be a fortress, which it was in the league. So
yes. So listen, he wanted Jaron Timber, right? That was his number 1 center back option. He did get him, right? He got his number 2, Lissandra, right? But he didn't get his number 1 transfer in the midfield. He got his third option, which was Casa. His third option was Casa. He wanted Frankie de Jong, didn't get Frankie. He wanted Adrian Robio, didn't get Robio. Now, God blessed us, and Casemiro was third, right? God blessed us.
God
right?
did.
God blessed us with that.
Yeah, that'll be a short. God did.
Yeah. And then to mention that, we didn't get Casemiro until a month into the season. We didn't get him until a month into the season. He wanted Anthony in July. Came in at the end of August. The man was battling a horrible board that does not know how to get transfers on time. They're struggling right now as we speak. They want Harry Kane. They can't get Harry Kane, but granted, that's Daniel Levy, and he's an idiot, and he's gonna lose him free next year. He still wants Frankie de Jong. He's not going to get Frankie de Jong. He wants Declan Rice, and Declan Rice is going to go to the red side of London probably, even though the conversations is we're going to try to heist that move like we heist Lissandro from y'all last year. He was fighting an uphill battle. He was fighting injuries. He wanted a better striker and had to settle for Weghorst. We know how bad that was. We had to bring in Marcel Sabitzer in the January transfer. That was all right. It brought some rotation, but like he wasn't, that much of a step up than what we already had. He rehabbed guys that were out of the club. He rehabbed, of course, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Fred had probably his best season in the Prem ever. He made McTominay look good at times.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I thought Sancho was going to be worse this year, actually. And he still got a little bit out of Sancho. He helped produce his Rashford's best season. This club was in shambles. We was in shambles.
I hear you.
In shambles when Ralph Rangnick was talking about, let's get rid of Marcus Rashford. The hell?
Yeah.
He wanted to get rid of our best goal scorer this. He wanted to get rid of that man, and we was in the shambles. He came in and changed it, and now we got Champions League football in 1 year.
Yep.
We look like Manchester United. Old Trafford is a fortress now. It's a fortress again. We teams used to come in and not, and be able to like, oh yeah, oh it's Old Trafford. It's nostalgia, but it's not scary.
15-3-1 at home this year, I think. Something
teams
like that.
can't beat us there now.
No, they can't.
And the one loss was the first game of the season when we still had to play Cristiano Ronaldo. We haven't even
relax.
Yeah.
You had to play Cristiano Ronaldo.
We had to play Cristiano Ronaldo, but like still, like I'm giving him a 10. He dealt with a lot from his first year, and he overperformed. I didn't think we was gonna be third. I didn't think we was gonna be able to have at least beat we beat every Big Six club this year. We beat all of them. Now, did we get the sweep of them? No, but like we beat them. We struggled with that last year. Granted, we ain't gonna talk about
which matters. That's how you get top four. You got to at least
you gotta
get 3 points.
And then the thing that killed Solskjaer was we was able to beat the teams we supposed to beat because we can now dominate the ball and score and have all these multitudes of shots. So I'm giving him a 10. He dealt with the most. He dealt with the most I've seen and was able to change it over. And now we're back in the conversations as, okay, Man United is back. Even with the owners we got.
I cannot wait to see the future, like for real, with ETH. Like, if he actually is able to get his guys, we're going to be having some serious discourse about the Red Devils because we get in the UCL title at some point on the ETH regime,
which someone that's hosting does not have a single trophy in Europe. Just saying.
Oh man.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead. Fine. You know what? We done. We're on the ETH move. Let's move on. Because I ain't been able to get it back with y'all. It's ridiculous. Y'all are wild, knowing that my guy. Focus on United. That's what we're here for, y'all. That's what we're here for. I love all y'all, man. It's crazy. Season review. All right, how will we rate the season? I'm going 8.5. I'm going 8.5 for United.
Well, oh man. It's so crazy because you can rate it off of the circumstances that were occurring, and it'd be a higher rating. If you just look at it from the outside, no circumstances, it's obviously going to be a lower rating because you expect more. Because of everything that was going on, I'm going to go 8.5 as well because obviously didn't get any of the big trophies, got the Carabao. But, I mean, all the shit that happened in the club this year. I mean, bashing your guy, but the CR7 shit, like, that happened. The injuries, like we were plagued. ETH's first year with the club, like B mentioned, he didn't even get a lot of his top transfer targets. I mean, there were so many factors on the outside, and the fact that he was actually able to piece together a run that got us top 3 in the Prem table back in the UCL. I mean, I'm not going to lie. After the 7-0 to Liverpool, I was like deflated. I mean, that was the low point.
I wasn't trying to bring that game up. I wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
We was going to bring it up.
The 7-0, I was like, all right. And then it's like the Ronaldo stuff starts. Then we bring in Casemiro, and it's like, oh, my God. Like, we're winning games. We beat Barca. Unfortunately, lose to Sevilla, but whatever. We beat Barca. I mean, that's... If you would have told me in August that we were going to beat Barca in the Europa, I would have laughed in your face.
So Emil, how much shit did Charles give me? How much
at
shit
what point?
Before the matches against Barca, how much shit he was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. Y'all a cakewalk.
Listen, that was where the forms were at the time, and also because of just where y'all squads were. I mean, that was also like the prime of like the height of like Veghorst having to play like a ton of
Yeah,
minutes,
we
which
had
is
no
just
business,
incredibly wild. You know what I'm saying? So
no business at all being in that situation. But yeah, I mean, I'll go 8.5, but I do expect a lot more next year.
oh, okay. Okay. 8.5. Okay, B, where are you at?
I'm at
Look
an
at me
eight. Eight.
aligning on football because we actually know sports compared to some of our other folks
Yeah, no.
who be on this podcast who think they know actually, what they talking about. But go ahead, bro.
We go. I'm gonna go eight. I'm gonna go eight. Um, better than what I expected. Some things could have gone better, and it's not much for me to explain because we've been talking about the same thing over and over. I feel like now eight.
Well, yeah, but I'm gonna
It
say
should
I'm
be
gonna
good
ask you this
football.
part though, B.
What's
I'm gonna
up?
ask you this. Why an 8 and not a 9? Is it because you don't rate the Carabao Cup the same as an FA Cup? Let's put some weight on the trophies here now. Not
Okay,
take another guy, a guy who actually, a city of winning.
so one thing was necessary to get as soon as possible was to get some silverware in the massive and enormous trophy cabinet of Manchester United. It was to get
Right.
some new silverware in there, and
I hear
and
you.
he that was accomplished in year one of this project, whatever you want to call it. It happened year one, right? But also, if you dive into the season and you look at some of the situations that happened, getting embarrassed by Brentford early in the season, based to be honest, we did what y'all did last year, and this is to not seem braggadocious, but we accomplished just one more thing, and that was winning the trophy and have a Champions League, right? So that Carabao Cup is just not it's not up there. It's a trophy. It's not a trophy. It's not a major trophy. When you hear of trebles, it's always the league, the FA Cup, the Prem, and Champions League, right? That's the trouble. That's the trouble. Had City won the Carabao Cup and not the FA Cup, then the trouble conversation for City would not have been as big as it is right now. Granted, even I've not heard much about that. Like, there's not been much conversation about the trouble being so historic. That's crazy. I thought it would be more, but like it's not. So then it's like, man, what is it? What is it? I don't know. I don't know. I do think we undervalue trophies because winning trophies and winning a competition, a tournament like that, especially in the middle of playing 68 games, 68 games we played this year. That's a huge accomplishment. So if it wasn't for the Carib, I probably would have been a 75, a 7.5. But now I'm at an 8 because of the Carabao.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think it's just so easy for people to get caught up in like UCL win your league, and they don't look at anything else. And I'm like, those smaller trophies that y'all are undervaluing and underappreciating, they can go a long way to bolster a club's connectiveness and bolster a club's confidence. Like, even just lifting the Carabao Cup, like, is a feat that was our first trophy since 17.
Yes, 17.
So
Jose.
at least we got some hardware. I'm not going to complain about that. But like I said, in the coming years, with what I just saw from ETH, we're going to be adding a lot more. So I'm just putting y'all on
Man,
notice now.
who's going out? Give me all the players who are going out. Just say the names. Who's going out?
Fred, McTominay, Maguire, Anthony Martial,
Yep.
So where though
Van
for
de
him?
Beek.
What's his value? What's his value?
It's around 20. It's around 20, I think. Yeah,
Damn.
it should be 20. It's
Who's
crazy.
taking him like Inter, you think? Just to replace Lukaku if Romelu want to come to Houston and be with your girl? Like, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey, look. Hey, look. Hey,
He
look.
couldn't just chill.
Look.
Come to
Look.
MLS.
Look. The MLS is on some crazy stuff. We're not. I mean, Messi, biscuits, Danny. Whew. Anyway, that's another conversation. Yeah.
Like, what's a good fit for Martial? Like, we know an
He
EPL.
doesn't. Okay. I don't think he should go to a Champions League squad. Right. I don't think. I don't think Inter or AC. I mean, Inter or Milan, or Barca, or like, of course, none of the big clubs. He should. Granted, he might should go to Bundesliga or Liga 1. It's one of those. Probably go back to Monaco. Probably like.
That's a
Well, I
big
was
nice
gonna
spot for
say
him to
like
come and do.
a spot that could work is like go fill the role that Nkunku just left. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, you're not going to fill it as well, but like,
Mhm.
go get some reps in. I mean, he's, and then didn't we? I'm pretty sure I saw this. I think we just loaned Zidane for like
No,
one. Did
not
they
long.
approve it?
It's not long. We sold it for under $1 million.
That is
This is
insane.
wild.
That
Like,
is
that's some shit I do with
insane,
decent
bro.
manager just to cut some.
That's when you know.
Just to get enough of salary. That's something you do in FIFA where you cut just enough to where you can get the salary of a player
Right.
you're
So you
trying to
can take
sign.
care of somebody else on the other end for their little,
Yes.
add the extra little
Oh,
15K to their weekly wages.
Yes.
that's just so bad. But yeah,
Horrible.
that's my number one though. Like, please get McGuire off the squad, man. I
Yeah,
just
just
can't.
because you don't want him and you don't want to talk about him all the time. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
and it's like we have
Weighs down.
like in the years past, he was really bad, but also you look and you're like, what else could you have done? Like the back line was terrible. Now it's like, dude, no, we're not playing that shit. Like we've got plenty of options to plug in. Like
We forgot one name, Eric Bay, for $2 million. That's legit. That his price is $2 million. It's crazy. Whatever.
Man, talk about a fall from grace.
the
My brother
fact the
was
fact that
like,
Fred
yeah,
the fact that Fred is our most expensive, like
Mm,
yeah, that lets you know about
I think
the squad
Matani,
depth. Right.
McTominay may be the most expensive one.
Sancho's back for sure. They said like, I
I
mean, it's
don't know
bad to sell
because
him now just because you can't recoup. You can't recoup.
that's the
Like,
problem. I don't know if they will sell him because his current transfer value is like mid 40s.
It's at 50, I think.
They
It's
paid
at 50.
80. So
Yeah.
there's just no way. Like, I don't know. I mean, but at the same time, like, do you really want to just let him rot on the bench? Like, probably not.
I mean, also you have to look at it. You sell him, who do you bring in? Because you have to bring in another winger. Because then you're gonna have Ganacho. I don't want Elanga playing. I think Elanga should probably go on a loan. So then you have Ganacho, Anthony, Rashford. Who
yeah,
else?
your wing backs are depleted. You have to get someone. So I think they only do it if they get someone on the transfer window. But I do have to make a quick little comparison because the Harry Kane stuff, and then now it's like I've been wanting Osimhen, and then now he's about to sign a 2-year extension with Napoli. At least that's the rumor. So it's like that's not going to happen, and I just can't help but draw the comparison of please do not have a New York Knicks off season. Do not sit here and throw these names at me. You're like it's just such a if it happens, it's such a comparison. It's like two historic clubs, two attractive places to play. It's like the free agent rumors are there. You have the ability to bring them in, but are you going to flop? Or are you actually going to bring the targets in? Like, that's all I'm asking. Do not be like the Knicks with Zion and Kyrie and all these guys they're supposed to bring in. Like, you already lost Kane. You're probably not going to have the chance at Osimhen. So it's like, just get a couple of the assets you've talked about. That's all I'm asking.
There was a report that said that if Daniel Levy can't get Kane to sign, he may lower the price on Kane. Right. So Kane is not 100% out.
Yeah.
but it's very bleak, right? So, but you have to go get the kid from Atlanta, right? You
Oh
have
yeah,
you have to go get him. You still have a shot at Kim I Jay. I forgot how to
Nah,
pronounce
I
Kim
it.
think
Min
it's a
Jae.
wrap.
Yeah,
Yes,
he left.
You're okay. I think it's a wrap because he's going to Bayern for sure. It sounds like
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
because
it's it. That may be a wrap. So
Declan's not
then,
going to Bayern and they're not. Yeah, so
I mean, yeah. So I mean, but you have to whoever is making the decisions on the money spent, go get him his guys. Please go get it. That's all I'm praying for. Please,
yep,
mhm.
because the Glazers are going to be here the whole summer. I've already ended my hope for
That's holding y'all back, isn't it?
yeah,
100%. Because if Sheikh Jism gets in during the summer, that gives us 50 million to spend. That gives us 50 million pounds to spend in the transfer market. So then if they if that gives it that, then the budget goes from 150 or 120, 150 to 170, 200, right? So then that gives us something. But like the depth that is hanging over the club is struggling. It's forcing the club to try to make budget type deals.
yeah. I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at with the club, though, man. Like, I'm excited about the future. We're in a great managerial spot. We have young talent. I mean, it literally all comes down to spending the money to get the last few pieces you need. And then we're going to be talking about the Red Devils on top again. And I confidently say that.
If you don't get Kane, can you win the Prem?
Mm,
Not 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 like in 1 to 2 years, right? But if we go get the striker from Atlanta, I don't want to mispronounce his name. That's why I'm not saying it. If we go get him and he comes in, then 3 4 years when he's mature enough, when he's 26, 27, then yeah. But like
Hold
at
on
this
a
very
second,
moment,
though. Will ETH last that long if you don't win the Prem?
it depends on the ownership. It depends on who's the owner. It just totally depends on who owner.
Let
I'm
me
I'm
ask you
I'm
this: what will
I'm
y'all
so-
win first? What will y'all win first? An FA Cup, Champions League, or the Prem?
FA
Yeah,
Cup. It's FA
FA
Cup.
Cup, for sure. For sure.
I think that Arteta and ETH, because of this past year specifically, seeing what happened with City treble, they are going to have to prioritize winning a trophy to like keep up with the Joneses because of where City has elevated themselves. And also because of Ten Hag, or excuse me, because of Klopp is what he's going to do with Liverpool because they're going to bounce back. Obviously, with getting McAllister, and they're going to do some more business. Even though I will say their back line is ugly at Liverpool. So
Back
against
line's ugly. They need another pivot
y'all
because
biggest
Fabinho is
rivals,
not there.
the City's not your biggest rivals. Liverpool's your biggest rivals. But for like me growing up, like it was City, or excuse me, it was United and Arsenal. Like going back because it was Arsenal and obviously Sir Alex.
It
So for
was
me, I like
Arsenal every 3 years, and then it's Man United in three.
relax,
It was Arsenal every 3 years, and then Man United
relax.
to win three
We
straight.
was always,
Yes.
bro. We made the top four for 20 straight years, dog. That's like some Spurs type shit. That's like the Patriots and going to the Super Bowl with Thomas, with Patrick Brady, third, the junior, my man's. Uh, Jacob knows what I'm talking about in terms of consistency and winning without
Yeah.
cheating, which you don't know nothing about over there, Mr. Astros.
Hey, we didn't
And
cheat
whatnot.
last year.
So,
I don't care. We did
yeah,
not cheat last
exactly.
year, so I don't know. Then
For what we
we're not
know,
starting it.
we don't know. However, that's what I'm talking about, like in terms of consistency in that aspect. I think they're gonna have to prioritize. So that's why I say, like, in order to keep their jobs, just because you're spending this amount of money, and because y'all are about to have some ownership. So interesting times. Um, and today, as we sit, is United absolutely going to be in the top four next year?
Yes. I
That
wouldn't
is an
doubt it at
easy
all.
answer. That's
Yeah.
easy.
I mean, I would go as far as say top three, to be honest.
So one, Newcastle isn't spending the money I thought they was going to spend this year. Apparently, So I'm like, okay, they won't have so to play as many matches as they finna play. This squad is not ready for that, right? That's the same thing I think that y'all ran
Currently,
into.
right now, before the
Yeah,
windows closes.
yeah. Currently, right now, I don't think that their roster is gonna, or their team is gonna have enough players to last through playing 50 games, 60 games in the season. Because that's just a lot. It's a lot that you have to play when you're in European football, right? Which I think that's what y'all experienced a little bit. Y'all had a lot of matches this year, ML, and I think that your roster isn't there. It isn't there. It's almost there, and that's why y'all
Right.
kind of flooded out at the end and couldn't secure the prem. So I think
Arsenal's
you
young
top
too,
Jacob,
three.
man. All
Jacob,
jokes
close us
aside,
out, brother. Because it's man. By the way, thank you again. Close us out, though, Jacob. We need a little something from you on United. You just sound
listen,
like you on cloud nine with it. It's just going up
listen,
from here.
man. I'm
It's up.
happy. Like
Okay.
it's so up because at the beginning of the year it was so down. So it's like the only way to go is up. So I mean, look, I'm excited. Just know, like anybody, Charles, Dion, whoever out here listening, I'm telling you, y'all don't want the Red Devil smoke with me and B over the next 3 years. ETH is coming for heads. He's gonna get his guys. Y'all gonna be in trouble. So I'm just saying,
But what
be ready.
they were always in trouble. They're Tottenham fans, so I don't understand it. They always
That's
in
true.
trouble.
And then dude, Barca boy. I'm gonna tell you right now, Barca don't want to see United in their group though.
Uh,
Ten Hag's a better manager than Xavi right now. I don't care what anybody say. Ten Hag's a better manager than Xavi.
I love it.
I told y'all Ten Hag was like top 3 manager in the Prem. Granted, I didn't think that Tuchel and what Carlo was gonna get Tuchel and it was both gonna
Right.
get fired in the same season. That was crazy.
Appreciate y'all, fellas. Jacob will bring you obviously, and B Reed will bring you back for the United preview. This was great. As we were signing off, we've been doing a couple more of the season wrap ups. But most importantly, in case we have some like crazy news, these guys are gonna be right here anytime we have some greatness that's happening from United. But overall, it's very safe to say the Red Devils are back. We are out. Appreciate y'all. B Reed, take care of yourself. I need you to write an apology letter for all your bad words about Cristiano. Immediately. And Jacob, you need to. I think the apology letter gotta get ready for Bruno, bro.
Yeah,
From you.
you might be right.
All right. Appreciate y'all. One.